You know, we hear all the time that we're living in this amazing wireless world, right? But honestly, that's only part of the picture. The real truth is that beneath our feet, stretching across oceans, there's this massive, hidden physical highway. And it's carrying, well, everything, every single email, every video, every meme you've ever looked at. So today, let's pull back the curtain and see what's really holding our digital world together.
Welcome to Super Courseva. Unlock the secrets of the internet and master computer networking. Let's dive in.
I mean, really think about it for a second. That Wi-Fi signal you're probably on right now, that's just the last few feet of a very long, very physical journey. The real work, the heavy lifting, the actual backbone of the entire internet, that's all done by thousands upon thousands of miles of actual physical cables.
Okay, so at its very core, all digital information, your favorite song, this very explainer, all of it, is just a long, long string of ones and zeros. But here's the thing, those ones and zeros have to go somewhere. They need a road to travel on. And for the most part, that road comes in two main flavors. You've got your classic copper cable, and then you've got the super fast fiber optic.
All right, let's kick things off with the old guard, the reigning champ that's been powering our connections for decades, copper. This is that cable you're probably familiar with, the one you plug into your router or your computer. It's been the workhorse for ages. It's reliable, it's pretty much everywhere. But how does it actually do its thing? So if you were to crack open one of those unassuming cables, you'd find these pairs of copper wires twisted together. The way it sends data is actually pretty simple in concept. It just shoots little electrical pulses down those wires. Think of it like this. A high voltage pulse, that's a 1. A low voltage, or maybe no pulse at all, that's a 0. It's basically just super fast Morse code, but with electricity, happening billions of times every single second. It's a really clever system, right? But it's not perfect. Like every great champion, copper has a weakness, a sort of kryptonite. And it's something that I guarantee you've experienced, even if you've never heard the technical term for it. And that weakness has a name: crosstalk. See, because you've got all these copper wires packed so tightly together in one cable, the electrical signal on one wire can actually bleed over and mess with the signal on the wire right next to it. The best way to think about it is like an old-school phone call where you could faintly hear someone else's conversation on your line. It just scrambles the message. So what's the big deal if the message gets a little scrambled? Well, your computer gets this jumbled up mess of ones and zeros that it can't make sense of. So it basically has to stop and send a message all the way back saying, "Whoa, hang on, I didn't get that. Send it again." Now that little request to resend, happening over and over and over again, that's what you feel as lag when you're trying to game or you're on a video call. It's not just your internet being slow, it's your computer constantly having to ask for do-overs because of these tiny errors. And engineers have been fighting this battle against crosstalk for years. You know when you see different types of Ethernet cables like Cat5 or Cat5e? That E literally stands for enhanced. And the big enhancement was twisting the wires inside more tightly to stop them from bleeding into each other. Then you get to Cat6, which is like the sports car version. It's faster, sure, but just like a sports car, it's pricier and really only hits top speed over shorter distances. But what if? What if you didn't have to fight that battle at all? What if you could just sidestep the whole problem of electrical interference? Well, that's where our second contender comes in, fiber optics. And this isn't just a small step up, it is a completely different, revolutionary way of thinking about sending information. And here it is, the absolute game changer. Copper sends data using electricity. Fiber sends data using light. We're talking about moving from electrons pushing through metal to photons, actual particles of light zipping through pure glass. This is way more than just an upgrade. It's a total shift in the physics of how we communicate. So how in the world does that work? Well, instead of electrical voltage, a fiber optic cable flashes tiny pulses of light down these incredibly thin strands of glass. And when I say thin, I mean each one is about the width of a human hair. A little flash of light means 1. No light means 0. It's so simple, it's beautiful, and it is unbelievably fast. And because it's using light, fiber has this amazing superpower. Remember all that trouble we had with copper, the crosstalk, the interference? Well, light is completely immune to all of that electromagnetic noise. I mean, you could literally run a fiber cable right through a massive power plant surrounded by all that electrical interference, and the signal inside would be perfectly clean. That's a huge, huge advantage. Okay, so you're probably thinking, if fiber is this incredible, why isn't everything fiber? And that's a fair question. The answer is there are always trade-offs.
Yes, it's insanely fast and the signal can go for miles and miles with no loss. But its greatest strength is also its biggest weakness. It's made of glass, which means it's fragile. You bend it too sharply and it'll just snap. Combine that with the fact that it's more expensive to make and install, and you can see why we haven't just ripped out all the copper just yet.
So, that brings us to the final showdown. We've got the reliable old copper versus the lightning-fast fiber optic. Which one actually wins?
Well, the truth is, it's not really a fair fight because it really depends on the job. Let's break it down. You've got copper using electricity, fiber using light. You've got durable metal wire versus these fragile glass strands. Copper is fantastic for shorter distances, like inside your house or office, but its big enemy is all that interference and crosstalk. Fiber, on the other hand, can go for incredible distances and laughs at interference, but its enemy is just, well, breaking it. So you see, it's not really about one being better, it's about using the right tool for the right job.
And this is exactly how it plays out in the real world. That Ethernet cable running from the wall jack to your computer, that's probably copper. It's perfect for that short hop. It's cheap, it's tough, and it's plenty fast. But the connection that brings the internet to your whole neighborhood? The massive cables that connect data centers across the country, or even the ones lying on the ocean floor connecting entire continents? That's fiber's territory. That's the backbone. So, when you send an email, which highway does it take? The answer is, it takes both. Your data probably starts its journey on a copper cable, then it hops onto a fiber optic superhighway to zip across the country or the world in the blink of an eye, and then it probably finishes that last little leg of the trip on another copper cable. It's this incredible, invisible partnership of electricity and light working together, and understanding this is so important because the next wave of tech, we're talking VR, AI, all of it, is going to demand a network that's faster and more reliable than ever before, a network that can only be built with both.